Hello. I'm waiting for people to join in. Am I audible? Is my voice clear? Am I audible? Please let me know if I'm audible. Give me a thumbs up if I'm audible. Am I audible? Yeah, I know. But is the voice clear? Yeah, all right. Okay. Welcome all who joins me for this live session of Art1st. I am Abhinav Yagnik, and today I am going to interview one of our important members from Art1st family. But before I invite her, I would like to narrate a story to you. This story is about a girl who goes on an adventure. So here we go. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Wynona. She had the most beautiful voice. For many people around, they felt it was just a noise. Wynona loved to sing all day long, enchanting all nature things who heard her song. A place where she lived, no art or music would prosper. She was cursed to stay on a tower. People labeled her a monster. Trapped in a tower, she wished to get rescued. So she sang her stories to the traveling clouds, but in vain. Nobody got a clue. She realized her magic powers. She gained her sanity. Playfully thought of an action, she embraced the world with the sound of humanity. To be continued. Let me adjust my camera first. So, is my camera clear? Yeah, so I would like to call upon my very cute, adorable, who is always on a quest. Let me welcome Wynona. She will tell you the rest. Wynona, come join in. Where are you, Wynona? I would like everybody to cheer Wynona. Wynona, where are you? I can't see her. Wait. I can see her request. Wait.
Hi, Abhinav.
There you are.
Hello. That was so nice, and I'm feeling very shy right now. Thank you so much for such a lovely introduction. And
That was my pleasure. It was my pleasure.
I felt very special.
That was my pleasure, Wynona. I really enjoyed making it. So yeah, here Wynona is, and Tell us, Winona, tell us something about yourself. What are you been up to?
So today has been a Friday. Um, I'm in
Hmm.
Bombay, so it's been extremely hot and it's been extremely thunderous. So I suppose that has been very musical as well. It's very, very weird to be on the other side of the screen. So I'm a little nervous now, and I feel like I understand why everybody has always been nervous about these things.
Right. But no need to get nervous. Let's make it very casual, it's just that two of us are
I
speaking.
know.
All right. All right. So I am quite curious, I'm quite curious to know about you, your practice, since I've heard that you love writing and you love reading books. And so tell us about your
Yes.
interests.
Well, my interests vary from everything to everything, but I like to look at it as collecting knowledge in the form of stories. One, because symbolism and metaphors and everything like that is amazing, but different cultures have different stories, and I really like how different stories can be interpreted as well as how we can externally maybe get them across, which is how I tend to see a lot of things. Everything's a story, everyone's a character. A lot of philosophy that I follow also has to do with you are the main character of your own story, but you are somebody else's sidekick, and that is important. So it may be a little, I tend to view things within that frame of mind, but it's always been really, really, I don't know, it's fun. That's how I see my practice. If I like it, it's important.
Yeah, that definitely. One should love their job and story. And what could be more interesting than having stories? So, tell me about your creative practice. How do you illustrate, you write? Tell us something about your how you go about it.
I like that you call it a creative practice because I would just call it a doodle or like a doodling process that I tend to do. And I don't know if I brought this up, but I like keeping myself very busy, and that's where I tend to draw all of my inspiration from as well. Because my brain tends to move faster than my mouth does. So I'm thinking of something, but then I say something else. So I found that when I am doing one thing, like when I am working on something, or if I'm writing something, ideas for something completely unrelated or something else seem to always pop up. So I would say that that is part of my process. It seems very thoughtless, but I feel it's in moments where I have absolutely no time to think about something that the best ideas tend to come. And uh, and then always make note of it. Like one thing that I've learned at Art1st is always write things down and always add things to your calendar. So if an idea comes, suddenly pencil it in for a weekend or a weekday, saying, remember that idea you had, look into it.
Yeah, that's true. Art first also teaches us how to organize ourselves because, ideas can pop up anywhere and at any time. So that is very much important. So, Winona, you have been part of, before coming to Art First, what were you up to? How did you join Art First?
Well, Art1st is my second job. Before Art1st, I was a fresh young college student that was working at a gaming company where I was a creative story scriptwriter. So I took a lot of my storytelling, as I've told you that I am quite passionate about, and I kind of found myself just through the vast realm of the internet working independently first as somebody that wrote interactive games to then working in office space that worked with interactive games. After that, very close friend of mine's family is very, very closely involved with Art1st. And I mentioned to her that, the work that I'm doing at this gaming place, it's fine, but I'm not really learning anything. I'm doing what I already know. And I may have not mentioned that I was up for a challenge, but I feel like intrinsically I knew that that's what I wanted. And she recommended me to Art1st. I met with Ritu. I met with Likla. Likla, you've met Ritu. I hope all of you one day get to meet. And it was honestly such a pleasant conversation that I had with her. And it led to this fruitful opportunity and this incredible mentorship that I still am so thankful and I'm so lucky to be part of. That was the journey from then to now.
Okay, so then from your past experience, what is it that what was that learning, and what about the role that you play now at Art First? How does that help in, I mean, how do you make that connection?
Well, before, like right from university. And oh, there's a question that's coming. Talk to us a little bit about how you traverse the crazy webscape as a social media manager, especially in a time where digital world has become so much more real. That's a very heavy question that I was not ready for, but I'd like to connect it to the question that you just asked me about how I made the connection, from just within the transition. The lessons that I learned honestly have helped me in the space of social media that I do today, which has to do a lot with not working alone. It was essential for me to learn and unlearn that not many things can be handled by yourself. It's one thing to, support an entire group project and get an A, but it's a completely different thing when you're representing something that works in so many different spaces and to give everything sort of the right kind of representation. So one of the lessons that I have kind of carried in my heart for the longest time is not working in a silo. At Art First, I'm extremely lucky to work with these incredible artist colleagues of mine whom most of our viewers have seen before, who have seen me talking to them before. And they're always brimming with these incredible ideas, and they're always willing to have a conversation. And if anything, I realize that conversation and communication beforehand is always very important when you kind of, put things out into the world. So I would say that was one of my
Yeah,
biggest lessons, learning to work in a team.
right. Yeah, it is very much important to work as a group, and also the kind of interaction that we have, that, since you are in communication, and there are at times that there is a gap where no two departments they meet, but then somehow our organization is such that even in such a team that we sort of collaborate in some or the other way, and we sort of make our way forward. So I'm getting one question that Likla asked, that what are you reading right now? What is it that you're
I work at an art education organization and I am reading one of our most essential texts. Let me just pull it out. Do you recognize this?
okay?
It's John
Yeah,
Verger's
ways
The
of
Way of
seeing.
Seeing. I would highly recommend reading it. It is such an incredible book. And I just look at these. It's so cool. And you can find the lectures on YouTube. And everybody watch it, even if it's just for fun. Watch it before you go to bed. I like to read this frequently. I just have passages, and I've had this book for so long. I've like underlined lines. Um, yeah, so this is what I'm currently reading.
Ye- Yeah, even in our college, like this was one of the primary books that we were given to, read this, and this is like the primary thing that everybody should.
On
Yeah,
a
yeah, you'll
side
say
note,
something.
Abhinav and I graduated from the same university. Abhinav and I went to
Yeah.
Shivnadar University, and I remember I met him once in a parking lot with his professor and a really dear family friend of mine, Tushar Zog. I remember you were talking to him, and I was walking to my first class, and that's when I met you for the first time. And I never thought that I'd be
Okay.
working with this boy I met at college.
Yeah. So how exciting! Now we knew we were acquaintances in college, and now we are colleagues,
Friends!
friends, and colleagues. Yeah. Yay.
Yes.
So, in your social media and communication works at Art First, what are you ideating and creating things about every day? How do you go about it?
Well, Likla, our colleague Likla, just left this really nice comment about me, where she says, "You're the bridge between the many teams at Art First." And I feel like that encapsulates sort of how of what I do. Communications isn't always just telling people what we're doing. It's taking into consideration everybody's time, everybody's the space they're currently in, their workload, and then kind of communicating that. Well, not communicating, and kind of just having there that conversation. Um, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little distracted by the messages, Abhinav. Can you please repeat the question?
I know. So the question is, in your social media and communications work at Art1st, what are you ideating, creating, thinking, and about every day? How do you go about it?
Well, the everyday process, that's actually a really good
Hmm.
question. And I get to give props to the incredible team that I have with me. Because, like I mentioned right at the beginning of our conversation, you can't do anything alone. That's a lesson that I learned. I carried with me through my lessons. But at first, I feel it doubles, where there are so many teams at Art First. We may be a small number of people, but we handle a large number of projects, and they're all so interesting and so incredible. But because of maybe how new I am or how different the many things we do are, I often don't know how to best represent it. So I genuinely feel that ideation comes best when I bring it to the person involved. So it's you, it's Gopa, it's Vishali, Likla. I never work alone. And I wouldn't
Oh
say it is my
man, your
ideation.
internet.
I would. Oh, I can see you. I can see you.
Okay, no, my internet is little acting weird right now, so I'm sorry if.
No worries.
Okay, so anyways, yeah, so I missed the last bit what you said because everything got stuck.
I was just
I'm
saying
really
nice
sorry. Could
things
you please
about
repeat
all
it?
of my colleagues. I was saying nice things
Okay.
about all of my colleagues because group work is very important, feedback is very
Yes,
important, and you cannot be married to your work. It is everybody's. Everybody has a say in what you do. And I genuinely
true.
feel most accomplished not when everybody compliments me at the end of a campaign, but when all of us come together and all of us have this idea that's put out there. I genuinely feel so happy and so I don't know, it really excites me when I get to talk to the team and say, okay guys, so this is what I have in mind or this is what's coming up. What do I do next?
True. Likla has just posted a comment where we would like to hear more about your work with the Art1st publication, all the crazy logistics, etc. So could you tell us
Oh
about
my
something
gosh.
about the publication?
Um, Clara, you're really doing me one over here, but fine. I will share all my secrets. Art1st Publications, as I'm not sure how many of you know, but we're a very small publisher, very small independent publishing house, and there are about there are X number of projects we're currently working on. A lot of my work involves, like I mentioned earlier, taking into consideration everybody's time and kind of finding this balance so that everybody can participate in the conversation and in the ideating process. As far as logistics are concerned, it's a lot of calendar work, it's a lot of scheduling, and it's a lot of keeping up. For example, like I mentioned, I was a fresh baby out of college when I joined Art First. And when you work on a project, you can't go in without knowing what you're doing. So it's either learn on the job, which is great, and there is also a lot of preparation that you need to do. And as somebody that really likes to read and just genuinely enjoys the process of collecting knowledge, working in publications has granted me this gigantic playing field, where I get to read and I get to write and I get to participate more in conversations. So it's not really just a scheduling or it's not really just, meetings and all of that. It's active participation, which I feel I wouldn't have had in an organization elsewhere. So that's just a small part of publications, really. The rest is a very long secret that I cannot share with anybody. So that's all I can tell you.
We got a comment from Elizabeth saying that's so true in every field of work. You're so young and already get that. You beautiful soul. Thank you,
That's
Elizabeth,
my
for
cousin.
such
Thank
compliment.
you, Elizabeth.
Acha, okay. Okay. And Vrishali has a comment that Wynona does everything from reading the new education policy for social media posts to packing books and sending them off to little children, everything in the spectrum. And you know how, like for us, I mean, I should talk for myself, that organizing thing is one of the most difficult things, and you do it so well, Wynona. And we are glad to have you as a part of our team. So I hope everybody is liking the post that is all going up on Art1st. It's all Wynona and her creative thinking and her hard work. That's what she what you see.
It's
So my last question,
everybody's.
yeah. But, my another this goes to the another question that what is coming up, what exciting is coming up at Art First? Tell us something about that.
What exciting is coming up at Art1st?
Hmm.
Well, I would really like it if everybody follows us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. In addition to that, there are we are in the process of launching a very secret new title, and I hope you, as an educator, all of you watching, as readers, those passionate about art, those passionate about books, look into it. It's a very interesting campaign created with the help of the incredible Rivka, our COO, and the incredible, amazing, super talented Rohina Thapar, who is the designer of Art is a Verb and working on our social media and all of our outward communications. I'd like to just take this opportunity to really, really make this huge shout out to Rohina, Likla, and Rivka for being the social media team that has seen me fail miserably, but also said, it's fine, let's figure something out. That kind of backup and that kind of support is so essential to making what we make and doing what we do.
Right. So, okay. So now I would like to do take this opportunity, like since we had begun our conversation with a story, and you are a prolific writer, reader, and you read so many books, and you have been writing stories, and you have been writing so many other stuff. Now I would like you to continue that story. That story is in the middle right now, and we would like to know what did Winona do to get herself rescued? What was that magical thing? What was that crazy idea she had? So can you please, I will, if you want, I can repeat that story again. And can you
Yes,
take it
can you
forward?
please do that? I'll
Sure.
try my best to do
All right.
justice to the tale of Wynona.
Okay. So here it goes. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Winona. She had the most beautiful voice. For many people around, they felt it was just a noise. Winona loved to sing all day long, enchanting all nature things who heard her song. A place where she lived, no art or music would prosper. She was cursed to stay on a tower. People labeled her a monster. Trapped in a tower, she wished to get rescued, so she sang her stories to the traveling clouds. But in vain, nobody had a clue. She realized her magic powers. She gained her sanity, playfully thought of an action that embraced the world with the sound of humanity. Now I sort of connect that the song she's a singer basically, and since you are into a communications and you sort of connect everybody outside art first, inside art first, and you sort of brings everything together and you put it on social media. So I look at this singing power as a metaphor of a job that you do at art first. Now could you please continue the story and give us an end to this? How would you like to see it?
Okay,
Not an end button, it's
I
an
would like to.
option, but yeah.
A continuation, sure. I would just like to preface this by saying that Abhinav has written something so incredible. Meanwhile, I have written about fighting dragons. There is no symbolism. There is absolutely nothing to do with dragons, but I really, really enjoyed this exercise working for this. So I'm excited to continue. Okay. By using her skills and powers for good, Winona made it out of the tower and into the woods. The tall tower was blown away by the cloud who was a friend. Winona, you've been locked away for too long. Now it's time for people to hear all of your songs. Her story only goes uphill from here. Her first foe was in a dragon's lair. The dragon was strong, towering, and mighty, but it was sad because it had no friends and it was trapped in a nightie. Winona befriended it and said, I cannot believe I wanted to chop off your head. With the dragon who knew the pain of being locked away, Winona now had a friendship that was here to stay. Together they soared the skies and seas, plucking fruit and playing like spies. The power of friendship, song, and dance became the page of a first new story in their lives. So it's
Yeah, that was wonderful,
Thank
Winona.
you.
That's a very
It
beautiful line.
was only wonderful because I really, really had all of your support. And I'm really thankful for you talking to me and talking me through this and being such an incredible host, Abhinav.
And thank you for letting me take this interview, take your interview. It was really pleasure. I really enjoyed the process and I really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you so much. And now tell me who is coming next week. It's whose turn, Winona?
So next week is a surprise. Well, it's not a surprise. You've already seen Rivka before. She is our COO. She helped me launch Art1st Live. It was the brainchild of a conversation between Likla, me, and then she heard about it. She was like, what are you doing? Why haven't you started it? And so I began this whole process. And I think it would be a great way to end Art1st Live, the first season, with the help of Rivka. So next week, we will be speaking with our COO, Rivka, and I will be so excited. Oh, somebody says I don't remember a dragon. That's my brother. He's the dragon.
Okay.
He's the dragon. But yeah, I'm so
All
sorry.
right.
We'll be speaking with Rivka next week, and it'll be really fun. And I'm really excited for everybody to see the second phase of Art1st Live very soon. Thank you all for joining. It was so nice
Thank you
speaking
all
with
for
you,
joining.
Abhinav.
I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you and have a
I
very good
did. I
evening.
had so much fun. You too. Bye, everyone. Have a nice weekend.
Bye bye. Take care.